I lied. I went for Top Dasher again. And here's why. Over the years of my dashing, I've had a love-hate relationship with Top Dasher. When I first started out, they didn't even have Top Dasher as far as I'm aware. But when they introduced it, I loved it. I hung on to it for a year straight, and that's when I got deactivated for the first time. Wrongly, I might add. I got bitter and decided I didn't want Top Dasher again. Then I fell back into the trap of Tony and decided I'd go for it again. Ever since then, I've kind of been on and off, and once I got reactivated on Grubhub, I vowed to never go for it again. I was done. Taking every garbage order for a few days straight and having to endure the pain of delivering ungrateful customers their cold food, I just wasn't about it anymore. Especially because I was able to multi-app, and I would average around $25 to $32 every single hour that I worked. And that brings us to today, where yes, I went for Top Dasher again. But let me give you the reasons why. I got 5 of them for you. The first one is, throughout this past little while that I haven't been a Top Dasher, I just hate scheduling my shifts. So a lot of you guys probably don't know this, but I do have ADHD. And so it is super hard for me to remember to schedule my shift every night, even though I have a reminder set. That's how bad my focus is. And so some days I would just forget to schedule my shift altogether, and let it be known, I was scheduling like 6 days or 7 days in advance or whenever the shift would open. And so sometimes I would forget, and then that day would come around the next week. I'd go to see what time I had scheduled. There wouldn't be any. And in my area specifically, it's really not a busy area. It's great for about 80% of the day, I would say. The only shift you can count on guaranteed every single day is about 5:30 to 7:30, honestly. And some days you get lucky and you can get like 4:30 to 8:30. But really, other than that, the map is just gray. So if you haven't scheduled, then you're just out of luck. And so I hated scheduling my shifts. Now the next reason that I went for Top Dasher again is number 2. I hate pausing my dash. So for those of you guys who don't know, I like to work long shifts. I usually go from about 9, 10, or 11 in the morning to about 9 o'clock at night. And so I always take my break at 3 o'clock. And this break can vary. It can be sometimes from 2:30 to 5 o'clock, 3 to 4, 3:30 to 5:30, like I just take it somewhere in between that area. And that's usually when I come home, work on YouTube, also work on my other channel, Talking More Sports with my brother, and also eat some lunch. But when I'm not a Top Dasher, I have to keep pausing and unpausing my dash like 10 times. And again, I have ADHD. So the fact that I would set an alarm for 30 minutes, making sure that I would get back to unpause my dash, repause it by the time the 35-minute timer run out. But like I said, my attention is so distracted, I guess, that even sometimes the alarm would go off, I would turn it off and I'd be like sending a text or something, finish sending the text, forget completely that I had to go back into the DoorDash app. And so it just made me run into a lot of problems, because then I would go back into the app when I was ready to go back out, and my dash would be ended and I wouldn't be able to dash the rest of the day. So you guys can see how that would be a problem. Now the next reason I think is probably the biggest reason anyone goes for Top Dasher, and that would be I work this job because I like freedom. I've always liked freedom. I've kind of always had trouble with being bossed around or not being my own boss. That's why originally I was a manager at 17 for a Taco Bell, and then at 19 I was a manager at a KFC. Because I did not like to work under anybody. I liked to make my own schedule. Even though I had to work like 60 to 70 hours as a manager, I still got to make the schedule. And I also was in charge, so I didn't have to take crap from anybody except like once a month when my area manager would come around. But I took this job for its freedom. So the fact that I'm having to schedule shifts and work a certain time, and if I don't work that certain time, then I'm not gonna get another shift for that day. And it just makes a whole big deal when I just wanna know that at any time of any day, I can go out and dash if I want to. And that kind of leads directly into number 4, which is it helps me with my personal life. So I do have a wife that struggles with mental illness, as well as a dog who you guys know has seizures, has lots of health problems. And so it's really nice to not have to worry about like, am I going to be able to get another shift today or tomorrow or whatever it is, if I have to go home and take the rest of the night off to be with my wife or to help my dog or to take him into the vet or whatever it is. just anything that comes up in my personal life, I would like the freedom to know that no matter what, if I have to take time off this day, I can just work 18 hours the next day or something. And when you have to schedule your shifts, that's not how it works. I only have the specific time frame that I scheduled the next day. And so when it comes to personal life, Top Dasher just makes it so much easier for me. And last but not least, I honestly need it for YouTube. Because I plan my videos literally weeks or sometimes even months in advance, I know that certain videos are going to require me to be a Top Dasher. And so that's another huge reason, is that if I want to do a 24-hour shift challenge or other challenges that have to do with the amount of hours I'm working or anything like that, I have to be a Top Dasher for it. I can't schedule a 24-hour shift. I can't schedule anything of that sort. And so when it comes to making YouTube videos for you guys, being a Top Dasher just gives me the ultimate freedom, because also I never know how long a video is going to take me to edit and whatnot. And so some days if I have to take longer to edit a video, other days I want to work longer. But when I'm scheduling my shift and I'm not a Top Dasher, the only time I'm able to go out and dash, even when I'm scheduled, is from about 11 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night. And then that kind of leads us into another subtopic of why I wanted to go for Top Dasher, especially for the months of May and June. And that's because it's the NBA playoff. And for those of you guys who don't know, I'm a huge basketball fan. I have a whole other basketball channel. It's called Talking More Sports. You guys can go subscribe if you're into basketball. But anyway, it's the NBA playoffs. And so the games start at about 5 o'clock. And I would be dashing up until about 9 o'clock every day. And so I would miss a lot of the games. Sometimes I'd record them and watch them after, but it's just not the same. And so recently I was thinking, I kind of want to dash from like 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Still get a nice 10-hour shift in with maybe a half-hour break in there, and then be home to watch the NBA playoffs every night. And I'm like, I can't even do that when I go to schedule a dash. Literally, I would wait till midnight to schedule a dash. All that was available was 11 to 10 o'clock, sometimes 10 to 10. But like I said, if I want to be home by 5 and still work 10 hours, I got to be leaving at 7 a.m. So that might be my new schedule for the foreseeable future until about June 20th-ish, and we'll see how that goes. But anyways, there you guys have it. That's why I sold out and I lied and I went for Top Dasher again. Hopefully you guys got some information from this video. If you did, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to see how much I spend in a week as a full-time DoorDash driver, make sure you check out this video right here, and I'll see you guys next time.